Episode 2 of the Glock 34. Not really too much to update on. I have 250 rounds through it now. The first video I did, it had 100 rounds through it. The reason I'm doing the update now, and I don't have any footage unfortunately, I lost it, I don't know where. But essentially I shot it versus the new tan M&P 2.0 Pro or long slide or whatever they're calling it. So first off, I wasn't too impressed with the M&P, to be honest. It shot and it did pretty well. The texture was a little more aggressive than I like, and I hate the trigger. It seemed to cycle just fine, but it wasn't really that soft though. I heard it was a very soft shooter from a lot of people, and I took it out and I ran my typical IMI 124 stuff through it, and for some reason the 34 shot softer, and this is not necessarily a soft shooting gun with 124 either. Might have to look at replacing the recoil spring. It's not that it's weak or anything, I just want to start fresh maybe, but we'll see how that goes. Anyhow, the reason I sat down and put 150 rounds through it is I wanted to get more time with it, see how it shot and everything. I shot it in the same exact configuration you're seeing it in, minus the TLR1 button here. And honestly, I like it. I think this is my favorite Glock. Well, I don't think. This is my favorite Glock. I really love the 34. It's a great gun, and I think I'm going to get one more just to have two and get it in a colored frame. And as for Glocks in general, I think the only other model I'll have is a 17. So probably one more 34 as a backup and then two 17s. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, I'm getting super sidetracked. So I have about 17 mags for this now, and it's running pretty smooth. It's going to be hard to see, but there's some minor finish wear on the slide I didn't detect before. I've been intimately cleaning it here and there, but really nothing to go on. The frame is pig nosing, of course, because it's a Glock, and they haven't figured that out yet. But other than that, I have zero complaints with this pistol. It shoots very, very well, and I don't know why I didn't start with this, to be honest. I mean, I like the Gen 3 19 I had before, but this is by far and away what I prefer out of a Glock, to be honest with you. It tracks super flat and it just shoots really well. One thing I am going to change is the trigger. I'm going to put an Apex in there. I'm not going to say it's the trigger's fault so much. I just, after the VP9, I really prefer a more flat striker trigger. It just helps with the application of force to the rear. And the stock trigger's good. It's not amazing, but it gets the job done. When you shoot a Glock trigger in general over an extended period, you really start to feel this little dingus. But other than that, it's shooting just fine, holding up just fine. No issues or anything like that. I'm sure no one is surprised by this. I am going to get a Surefire X300 for the front of this and move this to a 17. I did finally break the back plate on a TLR1. I've had both of these TLR1s for years now. I'd have to go back and look when I actually bought them. And even then, I bought the two that I have, I bought one of them a year after the first one. So I don't know which one's which, to be honest, but they hold up and it still works. But the piece that broke off from the back plate precludes me from using the old back plate. So now I have to use this pressure switch, which I'm actually very happy about because Mr. JHP sent it to me, and he's a gentleman and a scholar. So honestly, long-term plans, just drop in the Apex and a grip plug and it's done. I'm not doing anything else to it. I entertained getting it sent off and having some fancy work done to it, but to be honest, it's fine the way it is. These Trijicon HDs, probably the smartest thing you could put on a Glock. And we'll see if I like the Apex trigger. I'm not super excited about putting it in there, to be honest with you. It'll improve the trigger and it'll probably get me a lot closer to what I actually want out of a trigger, but I wanted to just honestly, I wanted to throw a grip plug in it, buy more mags, and put an X300 on it and use the holster I have and just run it that way until it dies and then fix it. But here we are. I think the Apex will make it nicer. We'll see. I might even get the one with the little blue trigger safety in there just to support the police. But I would like to keep it black, I think. We'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. And presently this is my nightstand gun, which I know a lot of people probably didn't see coming. I have been employing it that way since I got to my new duty station, so it's pretty important. It was either riding in a bag, and it was my really, really bad day handgun. You know, I'd burn through what I had on my carry gun and then get this out of the bag, and I'd carry it with 4 magazines just to make sure I got home okay. But all in all, I really like it. I think it's a reliable pistol, and I plan on shooting it more. I'll do a review at 1,000 rounds. It's just going to take a while to get there, so I figured I'd do this one. And it honestly groups real nice. The only thing I noticed is if I'm not on the gun perfectly and I press a shot, it throws it slightly to the left, and you could probably see it in other shooting videos where I shoot Glocks. I think it's just my interface between the back end of the grip and the trigger. No big deal, it's just a training issue. Once I shoot long enough, it goes away because I make my little micro adjustments. But I think the Apex trigger will really help that out, and then, because I know the sights are straight. I know for a fact they're straight, they've been measured. So that's not an issue. But I really, really love this gun. And if you're looking at a Glock, I mean, definitely stay 9mm, and the 10mm are good too, but definitely stay with the 9mm. And if you're looking at something in the Glock 34 size and you want to keep it striker, absolutely get a Glock 34. It's a beautiful shooter. I'm very happy with it, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to continue to run it and get a lot more footage and make sure I don't lose it this time. But I'm very pleased with it and very excited that I own it. So be seeing more of it in the future. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other, stay safe, and support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America.